So, welcome to podcast number 2. I have my guest right next to me, King Shalt.
And little Princess Beneke.
Princess Beneke is an unseen guest, but she is here.
And this is a special episode because we are in a completely new location. However, we are still in the bed.
Today, I'm surprising Shelton, and I'm going to get him to tell us the story time of when we first met.
Oh my goodness. That's like 15 years ago, babe.
That is literally 15
Wow.
years ago. We have been together
Wow. Okay, let me just get
this
comfortable
year
here.
for more than half our life.
Yo, that's true, hey?
How crazy is
That's
that?
amazing.
And we'll go into some questions that the Beneke Fam submitted
Sure.
to us.
Let us rewind.
Let us rewind
15 years
to
ago.
grade
9.
9.
We were in grade 9, about 15 years old, and we met through a mutual friend.
We met through a mutual friend.
I'll tell you a funny story. I actually asked this mutual friend back in that time, I was like, could you give me some hot girls, BBM?
Some hot girls. Girls.
Listen, I didn't know you back then. But then
Carry on.
he gave me, I think it was, what was it called? BBM?
It was either Mix It or BBM.
No, it was BBM.
Was it?
It was BBM.
No, I 100% believe
You think it was Mix It?
Because
Listen, this
halfway
is,
through our relationship, it was like the world changed from Mix It to
oh my
BBM.
goodness, this is giving away our age. I feel like a lot of the people in high school these days won't even know what Mix It or BBM is. Well, when we were in
let
school,
us know in the comments if you knew about Mix It.
so I think, yeah, it was Mix It.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me Queen Tiff's digits on Mix It, and then I started messaging her, and he basically said to me, he's like, Shelton, don't try with Queen Tiff, because they used to call her Nun because she just never had a boyfriend. And when he told me that, I was like, you know what, this is a perfect challenge. I took it as a challenge.
Men love a challenge.
Listen, I'm so glad I took it as a challenge, because here I am 15 years later, married, we have a baby, and we're living the life of our dreams.
I absolutely love it. And I mean, I love that I was like, I didn't date anyone before. I made them work.
You made me work, girl.
Still make them
And
work.
I'll explain to you how she made me work, because I had to pursue, guys. It took months
It did take months.
to pursue Queen Tiff. And
I mean, you got to know that they're going to run after you for the rest of your life.
eventually, while we were chatting, you called me bum.
Wait. You have to talk about like how we actually met.
Okay, how we actually met.
And then you can get
So-
into the little glimmer of hope that I gave you.
So our friend had a bra after our rugby match, and that was the first time I witnessed the beauty of Queen Tiff. And let me just say, guys, it was like witnessing a goddess. I didn't know what to do when I saw you.
You shook my
I
hand.
stuck out my hand. I was like, hi there.
Did you ever
like-
shake people's hands?
No, I was quite confident as when I was in school. But I don't know. There's something about you just made me not feel confident. So
I like that.
it was then
I could see you was a little bit shy, and I kind of like
Sure.
that.
There came a time when Queen Tiff called me bum on Mix It, and I really saw that as she's flirting with me now.
I actually just used to call people bum.
I
I didn't think it was flirting.
I really thought that I was like special. You called me bum.
You were special.
Thank
you were
you.
always
Thank you.
special. I secretly always thought that Shelton was extremely attractive.
Yeah.
Like from the moment I
Thank
met
goodness you didn't like give like me that much, because I was just like I want to kiss this one at a very young age, but you
I
kept
played it low key.
you kept
I
me
played
in
it very
line.
low key
You
because
did.
I didn't want to make him too excited. Like you have to make a guy work
That's
for your
true.
attentions. I've never been someone to like have a picture of how my husband would look, but I think from the time I met him, I
You
was
have
like,
one now.
this is how
your
my
screenshot.
husband will look, girl, because I just liked everything about him. He was a rugby player. He was confident. He had an amazing skin color that I was like, girl, I love that skin color.
You were like, I'm gonna have his babies one day.
I'm gonna have his babies. But I didn't think of that when we met. I will say that. I just took everything really slow. And Shelton just stood out to me because, as I say, he pursued me, but you did it in a very respectful way. Like, you weren't.
Ew.
I think guys back in the day
my-
were very like,
My plan
I
wasn't to
want to
do.
hook up.
Yeah, that was my plan. My plan wasn't to do it in a respectful way, but there was just something about you that was different, because like I came out of an old boys school, so it's like, back then,
That's how guys are.
God,
Guys are like
yeah,
that.
it's like, And then I just met the queen, and it's like, this one is different. Like, this one is different. This one is not easy. This one is like, this one has standards. And I knew, I was like, I don't meet those standards. So like, I got to like shape up to get this
I
one.
think you met them pretty well.
Yo.
Like every standard that I said, I'll tell you guys a really cute thing that Shelton did early on in our relationship. I told you I didn't like guys who were like players.
That's
and
true.
then Shelton was like, girl, I got you. And he took all the numbers on his phone that was girls and he like deleted them and he sent me a screenshot. And I was like, I'm impressed.
I had to
I'm
do something to impress her, because I was like, what can I do to win her over? Because I
was
promise you,
impressed.
there wasn't much that one could do to win her over. Like, guys, Queen Tiff was not an easy one.
Hard to impress.
You were.
So, and I think part of it was because I knew that guys that age were not into like dating. They were into like hooking up.
That's true.
Um,
I think most young people don't think really that far about.
No, and I mean that's normal. Like I don't expect people to
No.
get into a serious relationship in like high school.
It's not normal to get into a serious relationship in high school. Yes, it can work. It worked for us.
But
Not
I mean,
always
through
advisable.
hard work as well. Like as we matured, we both grew
Definitely.
together.
Yo,
And we can talk about that in other episodes, like the different stages of like maturing together and like making decisions together.
yeah, I think if
Even like where we work.
if you're gonna like pursue a high school relationship, you're gonna like literally have to go through the growth. Like, how can I say? Everyone grows,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have to go through a lot to get to the point where you guys get married.
Yeah, you have to make decisions that benefit you and also benefit your partner.
But I'm glad we did it.
I'm glad we made that decision.
I'm glad I didn't look and like think, you know what? No,
It's
I'll
not worth it.
find a wife one day when I'm old. Because you get some guys out there that are old that still haven't found a wife. It's like time's running out.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm glad I found mine early.
Yeah, and you pursued me pretty well. That's the one thing, as I say, that stood out to me about Shelton is he always pursued me.
I didn't give
really
up.
well. He would like, Mans went on like a trip to Argentina and he like found an internet cafe and like
To send
messaged me
you.
on Facebook. And that always stood out to me
Used to go and meet with friends, but meanwhile we would meet each other
because I wasn't allowed to date.
Yeah, and then I asked you out.
Yeah, he asked me out on Oshaka Beach and that is where our relationship started. And it was very friendship. It was like we held hands, we maybe kissed, but like
A lot.
we were in that time period, especially in high school, we built a very good friendship.
We did.
And
that law-
of course, we were very in love
Yeah.
as well. But we built a very, very good friendship that I think is the base of our relationship and why we enjoy being with each other so much.
That's true.
Because we actually have really like a lot of fun.
You're my
together.
best friend. Like, people be like,
Yeah.
who's your best friend? I'll be like, my wife, obviously.
My best friend and my amazing husband, all in one. It's like the best package you can get. Throughout high school, we dated, and I think in another episode we can get into like after high school, the challenges of like jobs and working and making decisions,
Building our first house
building our
together.
first house. But
Starting businesses together.
that was exciting.
Wow.
So I think in the next episode, maybe we can chat about that. If
Let's
you
do
guys want to
that.
see it, let us know in the comments below. But for now, do you want to get my phone? Because I have some questions for us.
Let me get it, girl.
Some questions.
Let's get into them.
I think
Sure. Okay.
I can read them and you can help me respond. How's that?
Go for it. I'm getting hot here with the questions.
Did you struggle to get pregnant?
Sure.
And how did you decide when it was time for Princess Beneke? So we didn't try.
We just had fun.
Shelton. So it was April last year and I was actually standing in church, and a little bit of a backstory behind that I can get into previously. I used to struggle with an eating disorder, so obviously my body was like a very big priority for a large portion of my life, and I always thought that I'd be very scared to get pregnant, and I didn't even consider pregnancy. Then it was April last year. I was standing in church and we were like worshiping, and I felt like the Lord said to me, this time next year you'll have a baby. And I was like, wow,
So,
okay. And it was like from there, I actually think I even said to Shelton, because obviously it was leading up to the marriage, the wedding, and I was thinking like, what are we gonna do for not conceiving? And I chatted to Shelton from then, and I started chatting to other women like in the church that got married, and I was just like, I don't feel like we should prevent anything.
No, well, we've been together for so long, so it's like, why prevent?
Yeah, I think I
Prevent
basically
what?
yeah, I spoke to you and I said like, do you want to like prevent falling pregnant? I feel like maybe we shouldn't, and you were just like, yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm ready, and I think it was just both of us were ready. We've been together for 14 years. We're getting married. We've built our first house together.
There was no reason for us not to, or to prevent, could I say?
Yes,
And also like, children is a blessing, guys.
a
Like,
huge blessing.
becoming a father has been honestly one of the biggest blessings of my life.
Mm.
So I'm so happy that we didn't prevent, because we have our little princess right here.
And did we struggle to fall pregnant? I thought that maybe we would, because I was told by doctors like your chances of being pregnant are very slim after
of
an
the
eating
eating
disorder.
disorder.
I didn't have like a full on cycle for about 7 years of my life, and it like wasn't even regular before
Sure.
getting married. And then we came on honeymoon, and if we do the math, it was
It was like this.
the first time.
Let me just say.
Let's not get into it, so we didn't struggle.
We should ask Princess something.
What?
Because she's technically been waiting for 14 years to make
come
her,
into the world.
15 years to make her entrance into the world.
Yes.
You were a strong swimmer, my darling.
I don't know if we're going to keep that one in, but okay. So next question: how did you guys keep yourselves pure while dating for so long? This is a very good question.
It was definitely Queen Tiff. Because no, I'll be honest. Like I think in a relationship, one of you need to have like a strong conviction about how you want to live your life, and definitely it was you.
Yeah.
It was you. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm being like honest.
Yeah. So from
Like-
from little, and I think that was like literally the second time we were talking, I said to Shelton like, I want to stay pure till marriage, and it like you didn't get freaked out by that or anything.
No.
And I think you just have to have, to me, obviously you love the person and you want to be like husband and wife, but there's a right time and a place for everything. And I just believe that.
I also don't. Sorry. I don't think if you in grade 9, you like thinking about husband and wife. I think when you like meet as young as we met, if you wanting to do the husband and wife things, it's not driven out of love. I think it's more driven out of like
It was definitely
desire.
in my mind that's only happening with my husband from the time I met you. Like, I was like, that's only happening with my husband, and that was my standard. So I was like, if a man is not going to marry me, shame. Shame.
So
And-
I walked the 14 years. I earned my position.
I mean, I knew that like if you are not willing to wait, you're not my husband material. So we had a little bit of a break because of Boo, but there's a verse in the Bible in Song of Solomon that says, "Do not awaken love. I implore you, young women of God, do not awaken love." And for me, I just understood that I don't want to awaken something until there's a man that's ready to commit to me, because my heart can't handle that. Like, that was just me.
I don't think
And
anyone's heart can handle that.
that was my conviction. And I was like, if Shelton isn't willing to wait until marriage, as I say, you're not my husband material, because I wouldn't put myself through the emotional side of that. I didn't want to go through it. So I will say, once I made the decision, it was like the decision was made. If you want to sleep over at my house, you're sleeping in a different room.
What made you think like that? Because it's like, I especially coming from an all-boys school, you coming from an all-girls school. There's people that don't think like that.
I think the number one thing that made me think about that is, number one, I grew up with a brother. So I knew how guys thought
Yeah.
and acted. And number two, I had a really good mom. I have a really good mom. She would just share stories with me, and I could listen to stories of like older women that even spoke to me. I wouldn't say older women, girls that were a little bit older than me that got really hurt in relationships. So I was like, I don't want to experience that. I want a man who's going to be willing to literally climb a mountain, and he will be the right man for me. And
There's a
then
mountain right there. I'll climb that thing.
Exactly.
I'll go climb. It's Cathedral Peak. I'll peak.
And
I'll
I
summit
mean,
it.
It makes me admire you more that you are willing to do that. Like, I admire the man that you are. It's not that easy to wait.
No, because the way that culture is today is so not normal, actually.
In my opinion.
It should be taboo to do those things outside of marriage.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just saying it's because it's like, I love the way that you were raised and I love your outlook on it.
I was blessed with a mother and father that loved me so much that I knew that I didn't have to work for love. Like, I didn't, like, if a guy...
Like godly parents.
Yes. So I knew that, like, I'm still happy whether I'm in a relationship or not. That's why I didn't, like, crave the relationship. I didn't crave, like, something from the relationship.
You didn't need me.
Yes. I wanted you.
Yeah, I see.
But I didn't need you. So that's how I think. But practically, if you're waiting for marriage, I would say don't sleep in the same bed. Don't do sleepovers.
Have boundaries.
Put boundaries in place, and don't cross the boundaries. If that's the desire that you have, if your desire of your heart is to wait till marriage, don't put yourself in a predicament where you are going to cross your boundaries. So, like, if you find it hard to have a sleepover, don't have a sleepover, or share it with someone who you're accountable with. That's what I would say. But I wouldn't.
I'm definitely not letting any guy have a sleepover with my princess. So yeah, just that sleepover thing is not even an option, guys. There's no such thing as a sleepover between opposite sex.
That is true.
We just leave it at that. This is one that I think I can read. How has he been ever since postpartum off camera? I don't feel like I can answer that one. I feel like I must just leave this in your hands.
Shelton is the exact same on and off camera. If you see him in person, you'll see that man's his hands on. He compliments me a whole lot.
I've definitely been more busy.
Obviously you're busy, but like
a lot
you
of
still
nappy
help
changes.
me. No, but I think they're meaning like towards me. How have you been postpartum? Because a lot of guys like
No, you're a
they
queen.
feel like they.
No, I tell Princess. Tiff is queen.
Shelton is very good postpartum.
There's only one queen in the house, and that's Queen Tiff.
The reason why I've been able to deal with postpartum so well is because I have such an encouraging, amazing husband. And I mean, he should be able to give husband training because this man is on nappy changes. He gets me my almond milk when I want. He even used to make me breakfast when I couldn't make breakfast. And I say couldn't make. The reason why I love making food is because I would rather have Shelton hold the baby and make than I can make food because I love making food.
My food is just a bit on the sus side of life.
And then
I try.
But yeah, guys, Shelton's the exact same on and off camera. He's like a marshmallow to me. And to other people, he's a strong, like, bull businessman. Okay. Okay, let's move on to our last question. I saw so many questions about this.
Sure.
I'm not going to read one specifically. I'm just going to put them all up on screen.
Yeah,
do you guys fight? And how do you deal with heated conflict and all of this stuff?
There was that question came up more than once.
Yes. So, I'm going to say this.
Sure.
And it might hurt people's feelings. Because we have this discussion a lot. We don't fight heatedly. We have disagreements, but we do not have a raising voice.
No.
A back and forth bickering.
I'll go as far as to say that fighting is not okay.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
It is like, I think as a couple, it is not okay to fight. You go to the UFC if you want to see a fight.
Yeah.
You don't bring that into your own household.
Yes. And I think I will say this as well. I think the fighting comes from like the way that you deal with conflict. A lot of the time, comes from your family life. Like if you've seen people bickering, you'll be more likely to bicker. But if the goal of your relationship is not bickering, what both parties need to learn is emotional
Control your
control.
emotions. We actually said this on this topic. It's like if a couple fights, it actually means someone in this
both
unit,
of them, both
both,
parties.
but the person who started the fight, you lost control of your emotions.
And I mean, you lose control if another person raises their voice at you. You have the choice if you're going to raise your voice.
Yeah,
back.
so I think as a couple, you should have boundaries and non-negotiable. So like in our relationship, we don't do screaming, we don't do raising the voice, we don't do slamming a door. Like that to me is disrespectful and rude behavior. And you do not act like that. And it's like if you act like that, you need to know that it's not okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like it now fighting doesn't mean we don't
Disagree.
yes.
Yeah, we have disagreements
But
about things. And I will say this is funny, okay?
and we debate
Most of the
our
time,
disagreements
yeah,
sometimes.
we can debate our disagreements.
Like-
but another thing is, okay,
But
this
like
is why I
this
don't think that
debating,
we
like
fight.
talking.
Yes.
We're not like, hey. No, that's not okay.
I think Shelton would laugh at me if I did that.
You small.
You would laugh.
Tiff. I would look at you and I'll be like,
What are you doing?
You want me to squeeze your cheek?
I think the reason why we don't fight is because ultimately we are Christian and we hold ourselves to the word of God. So if there's something that we disagree on and the Bible says something about it, we always go back to the Bible.
That's true. The
So-
Bible has the final authority. It's like
Yeah.
whether you believe something or think something, if it's in the word and it's opposite to what you think, then change your thinking.
Yeah.
'Cause
And I
the-
mean that even gives you tips on like respecting one another. Like if you consider someone more highly than yourself, you're going to respect them. You're not going to want to shout at them. You're going to want to hold your emotions. I think the number one thing is if your goal in the relationship is to not fight, it's for yourself first to actually take hold of your emotions.
Yeah.
You always need to know why you feel annoyed at that person or what pushes you to the edge of actually shouting at that person. If you're having a bad day at work, you need to stop and understand, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like annoyed or whatever? And make the clear differentiation. I'm annoyed at my work. I'm not annoyed at my spouse. My spouse
Yeah, 'cause that's
is
not
my
okay.
favorite person in the entire world.
You must be in love with your spouse.
Yeah, and I want to talk to them about what's going
I want to
on.
kiss them.
Yeah, and I want to cuddle with them at night, and they make me feel good about myself. And I think that's like the root of it. I've noticed that a lot of the times, the way that like disrespect can creep up in a relationship is facial expressions. Like if your boyfriend or husband is talking and you are rolling, they pick up on it. And that's disrespectful. That's like a subtle sign of disrespect, or like even frowning at them. When you look at your husband, you need to make it known that they are your world and you love them and you appreciate them. And if you are doing that,
If
and
you
the
do that, like I'll do anything.
Exactly.
Girl.
And if the person doesn't respond in a respectful way, then they still have some work to do. Like if you are calm, you have your emotions under control, you are showing that you love that person, that's not the person for you if they don't give it
true.
back. Like I just don't think that that person's ready for a relationship, because no one should ever be no one should ever think that a person shouting at them is okay.
That's so true. I also think practically, like, you guys are a team. So it's like with us, practically with us, it's just
Teamwork
like...
makes the dream
yeah,
work, baby.
teamwork makes the dream work. And we just know it's like we don't do this. Like, under no circumstances is someone going to raise a voice at another person. That is not accepted. And if that happens, one of us will probably say, that's not on.
Yeah.
Like, I won't even continue this conversation because that is just not on. And just decide, like, this is how we're going to do our relationship, because I do think there are couples out there that do fight and that. And I think it's simple. Just
It's
say,
a habit.
Say
It's a
that
bad habit. That's
yeah.
the thing. I think the reason why people fight is because it's just like...
Oh, mate, do
Just like-
this. I have a plan. If you start a fight, you make food and coffee for the next 5 months.
If you start a fast.
Yes, if you're in a relationship and you start a fart, you must make food and coffee for the next 5 months.
I think if they're farting, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, but there needs to be like a plan, you know.
But
So that's what I'm trying to say.
Practically, what I think as well, what happens in relationships is like you become familiar with your spouse or your
Yeah.
boyfriend or whatever, and then you think it's okay to shout at them, and it's not.
Never like stop falling in love with one another.
Don't think that this is normal. Like the moment that you think, oh, I'm happy and I'm comfortable in my relationship and I can take my anger out on my spouse, it's a dangerous place
That's
to be
so
in.
true.
Because you're building a habit of like, I take out my anger on the person that I love the most. And no matter how much you think the person knows that you love them, because you can love someone and you can still like shout at them. You have to practically show people that you love them. Like, don't think in your head, I
Love
love
is
this
an
person
action.
and I'm going to shout at them. You have to think, how am I going to show this person
Yeah.
that I love them?
Watch yourself before you wreck yourself.
Check yourself before you
I
wreck
was
yourself,
trying
girl.
to figure out what it was.
I think that's about it for today, guys. We are heading into sundown. I think we can take some B-roll of sundown.
Guys, we are in
Let me
the
show you
most
guys.
beautiful location, and I'm about to go and eat.
Buffet.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. If you got to this point, give us some.
Give us the peace sign. The other
give
one,
us the peace sign.
the peace sign.
In the comments. Give us the peace sign. Princess Beneke says hello. Carry on watching. Let us know if you have any comments or questions down below. We love and appreciate you. And if you want this to be a regular occurrence,
Hit
it
that
can be.
subscribe button.
when you subscribe,
And
because we're
join the
going to do
Beneke fam.
this every Thursday.
I like this. I like the podcast setup.
We love chatting to you guys and we're chatting to each other. It's just like we let you guys in on our little conversations.
But other than that, have an awesome week.
Deuces.
We'll see you guys
Love you.
next
Bye.
Thursday.